Come make the swimsuit with me. Here's what we started with. The first thing I did was seam rip the bias tape off the front panels, like so. After that, I go in and cut the bottom part off. Then once I'm left with just the top, I throw it on my mannequin and I tape a line to figure out how high I want to extend the bust cups, because that was one of the main issues. Then using a scrap piece of fabric, I trace out a pattern, cut that out, make sure it fits, and then I cut it out of my fashion fabric and did some adjustments. Then I decided to hand sew it on with a basting stitch first before taking it off the mannequin, just because it's a lot easier to have it all lined up perfectly. After that, I went in and I made some ruffles for the top. This is me just gathering that. Then I pin the ruffle to the top and the bias tape all the way back down the front of the bodice with the ruffle encased in the side seams. Then I take it over to my machine and sew that all down. And then this is me making the straps. I wanted ruffles for those as well. So I sewed a casing, and then this is me feeding elastic through that. Then I just sew those back onto the shirt. Then I also made some more homemade bias tape for the bottom and finished the edge like that. And this is it all done. Okay, I just finished it. The last thing I did was hem the bottom. I decided to keep it long instead of cropping it because I just think the lace is really pretty. But overall, I think I really like it. It looks completely different with all the ruffles, and it's probably one of my new favorites. I also found my old swim skirt that I kind of forgot about, but I bought it at the same time as the original swimsuit, and it's got the same lace, so I think the full set looks really cute together. And that's it. Thanks.